Welcome back to the second channel, guys, where we talk about all the things going on in the shop, and we are going to be introducing some how-to series and some things like that on this channel. I think Brian has a lot of expertise and knowledge that I want him to share with you guys, so that's going to be some of the stuff that happens in here. But as you can see, we are in the office, and we're in front of our 100,000 subscriber plaque for the Jack Builds It channel. This is the Jack Sends It channel, and we are at 32,000, I believe now, and I'd love to get that 100,000 plaque on that one. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, help us get that plaque. It's just a cool achievement to have. Let's go in the shop. Before we do that though, you know what? Like we should talk about the merch. So as you can see, we have the JBI logo on the front, and on the back we have the Supra. And it might be hinting at the style of wheel that we're gonna put on the Supra, but I really like the way these shirts turned out. They feel nice. It's really good. The quality of the print is there. So if you guys really want to support Brian and I building these cars, go check out the website, get yourself some merch, and then, you know, wear it and enjoy it because Supra. And as always, this is where we have a lot of our stuff that is sitting in the shop that we can't get dirty or we need to just kind of have storage space. But if you come over here, check this out. We got fully rebuilt turbos for our Noble M400. We got the little spinny boys. Look how cute that is, Brian.
Very cute.
That's so cute. So tiny. It makes a little whoosh noise. Anyway, the guys at Revolution Turbo did an amazing job. He painted everything. It looks good. We're going to put these in the car very soon. That's something that's coming up on the Jack Builds It channel. So be sure to watch that and check that out. I ordered some aftermarket actuators for the wastegate. And basically, we're going to have to modify these. Again, something you're going to see on the first channel. Now, let's talk about the biggest improvement and upgrade that we've done in the shop this year. Now, if you follow me out here, we have this guy right here. So this is our Wildfire 4-post lift. I'm stoked about this thing because safety is important to me. Now, I've worked with a lot of lifts. We're not going to name names, but there are a few that I've worked with that have issues that are unsafe. I had a 4-post lift actually drop about 2.5 feet with a car on it. And when you have that kind of weight, also combined with the weight of the lift dropping, it's a scary thing because yeah, you can't move fast enough. You're not gonna be able to react fast enough. But the good thing about this lift is there is several different safeties. So if a cable breaks, you have spring actuated locks that drop in and lock in place. You have also a wraparound system on this lift. Let's take a look at that. So this right here is what I love about this lift. It goes all the way around and wraps around this pole, giving you a full sturdy lift. Now, other lifts, when you shake them like that, you can see them swaying. This one can lean on it. I can push on it. Look at that. That ain't going nowhere. And that's the issue that I have with the ones that are C-channeled. Have you ever seen that, Brian? Like where the C-channel ones are just like, you can't even lean on them. They rock back and forth. So
absolutely.
This here is awesome. I'm stoked that we are teamed up with Wildfire. They're really nice. But not only do we have the 4-post lift, it's the wider version so that we can work on supercars. We should work on supercars. Maybe we'll work on a supercar here soon. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get to supercars. I'm too broke. So the next thing that I love about this lift is this right here. It's a custom feature that you can add to this lift when you order it, and that is lights. Working under the car has never been so easy. You don't have to bring a portable light around. You actually have really good lights underneath the car that go all the way to the front and all the way to the back on both sides that light up the whole undercarriage of the car. We should look under the car. The cool thing about this as well is it works on 110. You can literally put this in your home garage. So coming under the lift, as you can see, we can see everything under here. It's pretty awesome. But working on this car has been made very easy by Wildfire's bridge jacks. So these are air over hydraulic. They basically use a hydraulic pump with air attached to it to activate your hydraulic. That's how it works, right? So they have different size posts that go on the ends. These things move in and out. Awesome, really good jack. It also has safety locks down here as well that keep this thing in place. As you can see, the car is very secure. I really am happy with this. These things are awesome, and they've helped me do a ton of work under the Supra. So the really cool thing about these is they are built in and they are on rollers. And you can grab this guy right here and roll them back and forth in between the areas where you want to lift up on the car. And also it has the pads on the end of it to keep it from destroying your pinch welds. And not only is this lift a safe lift, it's capable of lifting 9,000 pounds. And we also have the 4,500 pound bridge jacks in the center, so equaling about 9,000 pounds. And you can lift it up and work on your truck. Thanks again to the guys over at Wildfire for supporting us and teaming up with the Jack Builds It channel for 2026. Team JBI has never been better. This year is amazing. We've added Brian. We have amazing stuff here. This is awesome, dude. Like, we are really doing some epic stuff this year, and I can't wait. There's a car that he's leaning on right now that you guys might have seen in the background of some of the videos, maybe in the background of this video. That's going to be coming up on the channel very, very soon. We're going to be doing some very cool stuff to that car. All right, behind the scenes, this is what is going on with the Supra. Now, a lot of people have been asking, why are you not finishing the Supra? Why is it not done? The reason is because I had wheels that were going to be made for this car specifically to the specs that I wanted. And unfortunately, that deal fell through. Now, because that fell through, that doesn't mean that we are not focusing on getting this thing done or wanting to do this car. We are just getting different wheels made for the car. Now, here's the stuff that you guys don't know about the car. Now, I have the front end off of the car. There is two reasons for that. One, I wanted to be able to lean over here and not dent or scratch the fender. And the hood is off because I wanted to be able to access everything in here easily. But there's another reason for that. The other reason is because the car is still slightly over to the left. Now, when you weld in a frame rail on a car and you're not on the frame rack doing that, you're not able to correct any imperfections that are in there. So now the car is literally about that much over to the right. And being that much over, it causes an issue with your gaps. Now, it's not major. It's not a big problem. Literally, it can be done. It can be corrected in 30 minutes on a frame rack. So I still need to give it a little tug to the right. But then with this, it's, you know, it's basically waiting to go into getting the final parts and everything done on the car. Now, we have to do the final torque with the suspension on the ground, because if you try to torque everything down with the car up in the air, you're going to have issues aligning it, and you're also going to have issues with wearing tires, and the suspension's going to not ride properly. It's a lot of problems that you can come into with doing that. Also, we have some stuff for the interior, which I'll give you a quick glimpse at right now, but that is stuff that we are going to modify and update this car with, because this car is a beautiful looking car. It is updated to the newest of new. Everything looks good on the car, so I kind of want to continue that on the interior. I know everybody likes that classic styling on the inside. I like it too, to a point. This needs something a little special on the inside, so I'll show you what that is now. All right, so as you can see here, we have something from Haltech. This is an IC10. We want to put a digital dash in there, and the cool thing about these is with a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of creativity, you can create the cluster to look like the old Supra cluster. That's something I might do. I might add some other stuff on there. It just gives you options. I like that, and I like the way it looks. It brings it to the modern era and makes the car look that much better. You also have the bezel here that goes inside and fits the dash really nicely, so really good stuff.
What I like about the dash is it gives you all the data. Like, the 90s are gone, and you don't have the A-pillar gauges anymore.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Just make it one screen.
Yeah, so the Evo, I wanted to put a digital dash on there, but I ended up using the old, AEM gauges and stuff on the center and lowered the radio to the bottom area. And it looks cool and it's period correct, but I mean, come on, like you said, let's modernize our cars. Let's make them look better.
Exactly.
Which brings me to the final part of this episode, and that is the Noble. Now, as you can see behind me, there's a lot of work that has been going on. We've been busting our butts here. We've got so many things done, but there's one issue, like I said in the last episode, and that is the wheels. And as you can see here, we only have 3 of them, and they are burned. Like, they are pretty bad. Like, they're dry rotted from fire. That's probably gonna fall apart at any speed. So to counter that, I've actually picked up some wheels on Facebook Marketplace. Now, these are Ford Fiesta ST wheels. These are 17-inch wheels. They're kind of narrow. They're not wide at all, but they're gonna fit on here. The only issue is I have to get spacers, because this brake caliper right here is a little too big for the face of this wheel. It actually is gonna rub on it. It probably needs about a 1/2 inch of clearance. I found some cheap 1-inch spacers. That's going to push the wheel out pretty far. That's not going to be the final fitment on the car, obviously, but we want to get these in place because now we are about 2, maybe 3 days away from starting this car. So if you guys want to see this thing start, you want to see it run and drive for the very first time in over probably 4 years since this car was wrecked, that's going to happen here very shortly on the Jack Builds It channel. Thank you guys so much for watching the Jack Sends It channel. I'm going to go inside and edit this video, and then next week, probably Friday, I'm thinking, which is this week right now, we're going to have the video out on everything that has happened to this car, and it could possibly be starting. So, see you guys in the next one. Peace.